Oh,
it's not that nice.
Jeffro.
Yeah.
You have a quick second. You're live on our podcast.
Oh. All right, let me turn the TV down.
Robbie.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Robbie made me call you, by the way.
No, you know what,
Yeah.
Jeff? I told him it's super disrespectful to call you without texting you first. I said he should never do it. And he said, no, I'm calling him.
You liar.
It's all right.
Hey, who's your picks for SMX 450s and 250s?
Just put you straight into it.
For SMX?
Yes, sir. Who's going to win it?
Oh, for which class?
Both.
We were debating 450s more.
Yeah.
250s are kind of easy.
Sorry, that noise. My girlfriend Jessica's wrapping some foil and stuff.
No, you're
I'm
good.
not sure if
We
that's
can't even
loud
hear
or
it.
not. All right. Okay.
Hey, we rudely interrupted you, so no apologies needed.
You know, I think I was really impressed with Tomac's riding the last week. I know he didn't win the motos or whatever, but the fact that it's really hard, not just coming back from an injury and getting up to speed and all that sort of stuff, but
Right.
That track is mega. Like that, you know, Ironman is literally like, that's the perfect name for it. You know, it's super fast. All the jumps are just massive. And I think for him to ride at the pace that he did was impressive. And so
Yeah.
I think that maybe I would put him in as sort of the sleeper guy. And I know it's that I don't want that to sound disrespectful, but the fact that he is coming back from, you know, being off the bike and stuff, I think that he's going to surprise some guys, come back and be really hungry with it.
I agree.
You know?
I agree.
So, but then, you know, a guy like Sexton and some of those guys that have been, you know, out there just kicking ass, it's really easy to just, even if he took a week off and didn't do anything, to just step back in and feel guy and just and be really hard to beat.
Right.
You know, like 97 when I won the 250 title. Binghamton. Yeah, I wrapped it up at Binghamton. So one race early. I didn't even ride that week. I didn't train. We went to the lake every day and wakeboarded and hung out. And then I went to Steel City and still ended up winning both motos. But I was just, you know, kind of on just, you know, cruise control, if you will.
Right.
So you know, I mean, obviously, I don't know Jett Lawrence's condition. I'm sure you guys are a little more up to date on it than I am.
I know he's back riding.
He's back riding. That's about all I know.
He has been for, I think, like a week now.
That camp is like Fort Knox with anything. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing. I mean, it is if you a couple guys that do a podcast and you're like news and want information. That's a bad thing. But
I know it is.
But I'm not face right now, so. I mean, let's face it, Jett, if he lines up, you expect him to be, you know, one of the favorites. Interesting thing will be that if he is a click off, if you kind of see him ride, if his potential is third that day, night, will he ride to a third, or, you know, would he still, you know, go, okay, I got to win this thing. You know what I mean?
I think he'd push it.
Right.
You think so? Yeah.
I think Jett would push it
for
sure. I don't know. Right. I think he will.
I think Chase is running at an unbelievable pace right now, and so to me, he's the hardest guy to beat in all of this. But if Jett comes back and looks as good as what Jett looks like, then it'd be hard to beat him. That's my 2 cents.
Well, the thing is, you know, I was really impressed with Chase this summer. Obviously, when some of the credentialed contenders go out, it makes it a tad bit easier at times. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful to the other riders. But if those guys that I'm talking about come back after taking a little break, come back to the SMX and go, okay, I got you know, I have 3 races and need to get in the hunt for when we get to where's the finals at? Vegas?
Yeah,
correct?
Vegas. Yeah.
Vegas, you know, and there's all that money on the line. There's a reason why these guys are champions, is that when it's time, they rise to the occasion. So I don't suspect it to be as easy for Jett Lawrence as what it was last year. And so the thing too is that Sexton has seemed to really limit the amount of times that he's gone down. You know, those sort of just weird, odd crashes and falls and mistakes that he would make.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a little bit of maturity, and especially right now, the mental side of it, I think that there's a lot of confidence that he will have gained in himself, right? Like developed, I guess is maybe a good word. And that the team's got the right bike under him and all of that stuff. So, you know, I do think that it's like sometimes I just look at it and it's like when some predictions like shit, really?
Yeah.
Like it's because guys like, you know, Tomac and Lawrence and Cooper Webb off, you know, and so then they have to come back from these injuries or these times off and then, you know, mix in with the guys that are currently just on the gas and each and every week. I think it makes for a really competitive field. It's not, I mean, you don't really think that any of these guys, you know, oh, well, if I start 15, I'll finish second no matter what.
Yeah.
That's not a guarantee. You know, the depth of field is really, really strong.
Big.
And, you know, and you got a guy like, you know, Plessinger, who's just knocking on the door. He's just a click off from being able to win the races. Well, now you go to, okay, we're going to do a 3-race playoff or even a 1-night main event in Vegas. Could he put together that one night? You know, well, hell yeah, he can.
Right.
You know, so, and I think that's the magic of sort of the of what the playoffs represent is you don't have 17 supercrosses that you have to go through. You know, you've got 3 races now that you can focus on, put yourself in the position to win the thing in the end, and there's a lot on the line. I think that you can see guys like, you know, a guy like Plessinger really excelling in that scenario.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what's funny is earlier when we were talking about it and I listed 5, I left Cooper Webb out.
I didn't think about it either. And the reason I didn't think about it is because he just got hurt again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the reason that we got on this subject is because what I saw from Tomac this past weekend, from being off so long, and then him to go up and podium, I think he's going to do really good at the playoffs. I can just see it.
I didn't. I was traveling. I was actually back east. Ralph Shaheen celebrated his 60th birthday.
Nice.
So I surprised him back in Charlotte.
That's
and,
so cool.
Jeff.
Yeah.
That's actually cool.
Do you know him and I have the same birthday?
The 23rd.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were 60. I thought you were much younger.
Hey, Jeff. He definitely acts like it. That's for sure. This old grandpa over here that just likes to lay on his couch and do nothing.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I was when I was traveling, I was trying to get some Wi-Fi service and it was a bit spotty, but I watched a little bit of the second 450 moto. And at that point, Bondo and the TV crew had really focused on Tomac.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there watching him, and it's like, you know, it looked like championship Tomac on the bike. You know, I mean, he looked fantastic. You know, I mean, granted, he was a few seconds behind Sexton and Plessinger, but you know, essentially, yeah, he didn't look like some guy that had been injured this year. I mean, he definitely looks like he's in a really, really good place.
Yeah. I think he's going to do good.
Yeah.
I think Haiden will take the 250s again for sure. But I think Tomac, I think Jett will take it, but Tomac's going to be a contender through the playoffs for sure.
Well, I think that's maybe the easy call with Haiden, and I wouldn't disagree. I mean, if you had to put your money on somebody, you know, it's probably the smartest money.
Yeah.
These guys are pushing him though, and he's been like a cat with 9 lives this year. I mean, a few of these crashes that he had, I mean, I've seen guys that have crashed way easier than that and have an injury, you know?
Right.
So, you know, there's a bit of luck that goes down there. And granted, he's strong. There's no doubt about it, you know, in multiple ways. But all it's going to take is for one of these guys to have a good night and push him to where that he then has to get out of his comfort zone, for him to make a mistake. And that's where, when you're the 250 guys, you're focusing on trying to improve, right? But there's some guys that are right there, and I don't think it's going to take much to make him uncomfortable. The problem is he seems to thrive in the red zone, right? Like there's not a lot of guys. You got like, I don't know if James Stewart, you could even call it the red zone, but I'm going back to like Bob Hanna, Rick Johnson, Danny Magoo Chandler.
Yeah.
These guys, feed off the pegs. Like they don't care. He seems to have a little bit of that ability in him. And that's where I think that he has excelled against some of the other guys, is he doesn't mind going there. And it's exciting. It's pretty exciting to watch. And so, I was the type of guy, personally, like to just give you a frame of reference, is that I was never in that zone. I always pushed my comfort zone to go faster. It was like, okay, I'm comfortable here, but I need to go, from 8 to 11.
Right.
Well, I would never do that. I would have to push my comfort zone to 11 for that to happen. Right. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah. It definitely does. And I think Hayden's one of those guys that you're talking about. They're going to have to push him, for him to start making mistakes. Well, he's comfortable in that red zone in a way. You know what I mean? And a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, for all of you guys that crush it out the vet track at Fox Race on Saturdays and you watch the Corley brothers, that's the difference.
That's right. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying.
I'm so honored you recognize that.
Yeah.
How smooth Bobby rides and how Michael clearly is at his limit.
Yeah,
most days.
It does. I'm fast and smooth. Now that I'm on a Kawasaki now, you know what I mean? I'm killing it.
You brown nosing son of a gun, dude.
I love it.
Team green.
So we appreciate you, Jeff. Thanks for answering. Just wanted to ask you.
No problem.
Sorry to interrupt your Monday night. I apologize.
Well, I'm not doing anything. Jessica's doing the cooking, so I'm just sitting here.
Oh, amen.
No problem.
No, sorry.